Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. What's going on, guys? Early chatters are in. Good to see y'all. And thank y'all for hanging out with me for my conversation with Iapo yesterday. And y'all might be interested to know that I will be interviewing Guy McPherson this week. On Thursday. So hang out with me on Thursday for an interview with Guy McPherson. But anyways, greetings all. Guauamashi, Kuro Hikes, Rich Diana, Poppy Davis, Gene, Oceanic Estate, etc. I'm live on Rockfin. Please join me on Rockfin. ROKFIN.com. We have Kevin Shanholter, Poppy Davis, both saying hi. Guys, let's try and get 20 people watching on Rockfin today. Can you all go over and hang out with me on Rockfin and get 20 people watching on Rockfin? Urban Hermit, hello, Kevin. Hermit says hello to all the folks. And I think also, one day this week, I'm going to do a Rockfin only live stream. Don't worry, I will upload the live stream afterwards to YouTube, but I'm trying to get more people on Rockfin. I understand that some people have issues, but I really want to try and get people used to coming over to Rockfin. Because that is most likely the way of the future. So better to get used to it now. Also many people following me on Rockfin. Thank you all the people who are. My Rockfin following is just growing and growing and growing. It's wild. I'm almost at 3,400 on Rockfin. And I don't doubt that I'll get to 4,000 followers on Rockfin very soon. Poppy Davis says, we all have issues, Kevin. Yes. Nazmanabs, I think you're trying to be funny, but everyone knows Guy McPherson as a esteemed scientist, biologist, what have you, professor, who has put all the clues together as far as climate change is going, and long ago said we don't have very long. Obviously there are others, but Guy McPherson being one of the leading voices. I think we all know who Guy McPherson is. Anyways. Rich Diana says Iapo is not a doomist. No, she's not. No. I'm not really a doomist either. But by the way, if y'all, Interglacial Optimist says, if Rockfin is the future, then I will be buried in the past. No, Rockfin is, they are upping the game for the content creators, and they're upping the game for the viewers. So, support us all in this journey. It'd be very helpful. Kuro Hike says, when I found Guy, I was so relieved because for a decade I felt like I was the only one. Yeah, and when I found Guy McPherson, yeah, it just made so much sense. I had already had, inklings of understanding of what was going on, but what he was saying was just really made a lot of sense, and it still does. Anyways, Kevin Shanholzer says, will early chat be available on Rockfin? I don't know. I can't promise. Again, I said I was going to try and look into figuring out if I could do an early, set up the live stream early on Rockfin. I haven't done it yet, so that's my bad, but I'm not sure yet. I don't know if there's a way to do that. But you might have to just jump in the stream and get swimming. Osama says, I'm feeling quite at home here on Rockfin. Poppy Davis says, where are they? 3,400 and only 5 in the chat. Well, people follow the channel that doesn't, they come over to follow the channel. Hey, I'm here. A lot of people watch after the show. So I get, a lot of my views after the show is already over on Rockfin. And my views are going up on Rockfin as well. So that is good news. But I'll give you guys a heads up. I'll give you at least a heads up when I do the Rockfin only live stream. I promise. Gene asks, what is the topic with Guy? Climate change. I don't know. We're gonna cover whatever ground we can cover. I'll have a list of things to talk about, but we generally kind of just try to go all over the place. Anyways. The dude says if they, quote unquote, can get all the good ones cornered on Rockfin, it will be a nice container. Oh, very conspiratorial talk there, the dude. Very conspiratorial. No, I'm not going to move to Rockfin Interglacial. I'm not leaving YouTube, okay? if I do a Rockfin only live stream, it'll just be like one day. Just going to be live streaming on Rockfin. That's it. Trying to get everybody over to Rockfin, but that doesn't, I'm not leaving YouTube anytime soon. Rob Cometti says, are you promoting consumerism? No, I'm not. This is a ironic t-shirt. This is meant to make people uncomfortable. Of course, I'm not promoting consumerism. But it's, when you tell people to do, something shitty, something they know is shitty, kind of like, you understand what I'm saying. The dude says, shocker. Right, Osama, that's exactly why. Right, YouTube might be leaving me. That's the thing. I'm not leaving YouTube anytime soon. I'm just saying one day YouTube might leave me, and that we will only have the Rockfin. So it's not intentionally to piss anybody off or make anybody's life miserable or make anybody uncomfortable or whatever. What the hell? Okay. Yeah, well, and Kuro, you bring up a good idea, a good point. Rockfin is ad-free. If you don't like the ads, I would encourage people to subscribe to Rockfin because there's other good content there, and you also help me out if you subscribe. But you can sign up for an account and watch my videos for free, and there are no ads. So there's that. Okay, let's get into it. We've been a rapping. Oh, where am I? What's going on? Hold on one second, guys. All right. So this from Go Green, tweeted out the other day. Earth to reach temperature climate tipping point in the next 20 to 30 years. Is it, guys, do you think that's true? Terrestrial biosphere. The activity of land, plants, and soil microbes has absorbed huge amounts of human-produced carbon, but as Earth fever intensifies, this process is breaking down. Let's look at this. This is from phys.org, January 13th, 2021. Earth's ability to absorb nearly a third of human-caused carbon emissions through plants could be halved within the next 2 decades at the current rate of warming. So they're just talking about carbon uptake, the ability to uptake carbon. Again, there are certain places on the planet which have already become carbon emitters and not carbon sinks. So 20 to 30 years, you tell me, is that really a realistic thing to be telling people? According to a new study in Science Advances by researchers at Northern Arizona University, the Woodwell Climate Research Center and the University of Waikato, New Zealand, or Waikato, using more than 2 decades of data from measurement towers in every major biome across the globe, the team identified a critical temperature tipping point beyond which plants' ability to capture and store atmospheric carbon, a cumulative effect referred to as the land carbon sink, decreases as temperature continues to rise. The terrestrial biosphere, the activity of land, plants, and soil microbes, does much of Earth's breathing, exchanging carbon dioxide and oxygen. Ecosystems across the globe pull in carbon dioxide through photosynthesis and release it back to the atmosphere via the respiration of microbes and plants. Over the past few decades, the biosphere has generally taken in more carbon than it has released, mitigating climate change. But, as record-breaking temperatures continue to spread across the globe, this may not continue and is already not continuing. The NAW, Woodwell Climate, and Waikato researchers have detected a temperature threshold beyond which plant carbon uptake slows and carbon release accelerates. Lead author Catherine Duffy, a postdoctoral researcher at NAU, noticed sharp declines in photosynthesis above this temperature threshold in nearly every biome across the globe, even after removing other effects such as water and sunlight. The Earth has a steadily growing fever, and much like the human body, we know every biological process has a range of temperatures at which it performs optimally and ones above which function deteriorates, Duffy said. So we wanted to ask, how much can plants withstand? Hold on, though. I mean, we already know that plants are confused. We already know that ecosystems are confused by weather changes, weather weirding, weather wilding, jet stream meanderings. We already know that it's way too warm in the winter, and that, you know, plants are blooming early and birds are coming out early, and bears aren't hibernating, and food is either becoming too available too early in the season, or not available at all, or is being disrupted. This is already happening. Max Sargent, yes, tomorrow is Martin Luther King's birthday. That is correct. Well, it wasn't his actual birthday. It was a celebration of his birthday, the national holiday. Yes, MLK Day is tomorrow. Anyways, let's go back. I believe his birthday was on the 15th. So this study is the first to detect a temperature threshold for photosynthesis from observational data at a global scale. While temperature thresholds for photosynthesis and respiration have been studied in the lab. The FluxNet data provide a window into what ecosystems across Earth are actually experiencing and how they are responding. Again, this probably also depends on how quickly they are forecasting that the temperatures will rise. How quickly are they, right? What graph are they using for the old temperature / carbon rise by this date kind of stuff, Oh, well, anyway, so they did this study. We know that temperature optima for humans lie around 37 degrees Celsius or 98 degrees Fahrenheit, but we in the scientific community didn't know what those optima were for the terrestrial biosphere. Okay. The results were alarming. The researchers found that temperature peaks for carbon uptake 18 degrees C for the more widespread C3 plants and 28 degrees C for C4 plants are already being exceeded. Already being exceeded in nature. But saw no temperature check on respiration. This means that in biomes, continued warming will cause photosynthesis to decline, while respiration rates rise exponentially, tipping the balance of ecosystems from carbon sink to carbon source and accelerating climate change. Yeah. Hero Hikes 2021 baseline says we are all good. Yeah, somebody tweeted out, isn't it weird that we're not having a winter this year? Maybe not having, it's 90 degrees on my thermometer right now. It's extremely warm. Can't really use LA as a really good example, or Southern California, but because we can, this is one of those places where it can be 80 degrees on any given day, any day of the year, but it is currently 80 degrees. On my phone, it's 90 degrees on my thermometer. But in other places, yes, winter has been extremely muted. And again, referring back to the article, are they using this assumption that these processes are going to move that slowly? Again, when people talk about where we're going to be in 20 or 30 years. Oh, we might reach 2C by 2050, right? Or stuff like that. We might see a Arctic ice free summer in 2035. Hold on to your socks. Again, they're not really not operating in a reality that takes in the data that is already presented to you. That's the thing, is you can fluff it up all you want. You can skepticize all you want. You can be as skeptical as you want. You can be as well balanced, and we're going to take in all the data, and we don't want to say anything right now, and we don't want to commit to anything, and we don't want to predict anything, and we don't want to assume anything. Okay, sure. But even if you're being completely scientific and you're just looking at graphs and the trend lines of the graphs, and you're looking at data and you're looking at the trend lines of the data, and you see where the data is going, if you just follow the line, it doesn't even the line doesn't, you know, go where you are saying that things are going to go. So you're kind of denying, denying, even scientists are doing it, denying reality in order to give people this idea that, like, oh, guys, we got to do something real quick because, oh, in 20 or 30 years, we're going to be over the falls. And I'm not trying to be dismissive about, you know, this idea that, I mean, it's, you know, it's funny that people are actually operating like this. That's what's funny to me. The oncoming freight train heading down the tracks towards humanity is not necessarily very funny. Yeah, so Sama, you're right. What's up, Rockfinners? Gonna say hi to some Rockfinners. Poppy Davis, Beckwith's latest vid says we're at 1.55C for 2020 since the true pre-industrial 1750. Well, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's going to be, we've already heard from the WMO, we possibly could touch 1.5, although in, you know, the month-to-month temperature anomalies for the last year, we had a few months that touched one. We already did it. They were like, we could touch 1.5 in the next 5 years. Well, we already touched 1.5. We already did it. It already happened. So they're like, they're kind of trying to slowly let people know, oopsie. And how about that well below 2C? How's that going? How's that going to go for people in the next 10 years? How long are they going to be able to say, if we're already at 1.5, and Beckwith is saying we're at 1.5, you know, good on Beckwith for, you know, helping to let the cat out of the bag that we're already at 1.5. Or we're so close, we might as well just, you know, they're really trying to hold to that. Whoa, you know, the NASA from the 1950 baseline, we're at about, you know, 1.1C or maybe 1.2, whatever it might be, 1.1 or 1.2. We're in the 1.1 range. You know, we're almost to 1.5. Well, if they let the cat out of the bag that we're already at 1.5, then uh-oh. What's up, my good Rockfin peeps? Hello. Scott Andrews says, oh, great, we have 20 to 30 years. Right. Raza, you feel like there are two of you. Uh-oh. River Monkey, what's up? How you doing, River Monkey? Accidental Activist, what's up? How you doing? Good to see y'all on Rockfin. Let's get to 20. We got 14 watching on Rockfin. Let's get to 20 people today. Let's try it. Let's try and try. TCR Galaxy says, Eric Holthaus has said enough of us. Had enough of us, sorry. He says, I've muted so many doomers this week. I'm finally completely fed up. Okay. I just don't understand. I don't really get it. He's fed up with what? People coming to grips with reality? You know, and yes, even for, you know, for climate change scientists and climate change communicators or followers or debaters, doomers, wherever you are on the spectrum, for all of those people, you know, yeah, there are a lot of nuances. There are a lot of nuances. And the human condition is to, you know, hope for the best, or, you know, look for the rainbow on the horizon, or, you know, the pot of gold, or whatever you want, whatever it is. The human condition is to, like, try to hope for the best outcome, or, you know, shine up that cloud. And that's fine. I get it. That's totally human. Totally human. But there's a point at which, you know, the denial of reality becomes a little bit uncomfortable to me and to other people as well. TCR Galaxy, Eric Holzhaus says we can still avoid 1.5C. I know. I've read some of his threads. I know. I've read some of his tweets on this channel, and I'm like, you know, seriously, you're giving climate scientists a bad name when you do stuff like that. You're giving people misinformation. You're making people, you're pissing people off when you do stuff like that, because people can see with their own eyes where the graph is going. They see where that trend line is going. They understand that it's way too fucking warm in the wintertime, that Maine has no snow in the wintertime, that like seasons are all over the place, and like, you know, everything seems a little off and wrong. Like, people understand that on a very like intuitive level. So when you lie to people like that and you're like, I'm a climate scientist, believe me, you're just pissing people off, and you're making people say like, well, I don't believe anything anybody has to say, and you're creating a whole bunch of people that are like, you know, I'm not listening to the establishment narrative. I feel misled. Andy Stellara says it's scary. Indeed, it's scary. Sure. You know, and yeah, and maybe there's a certain, like as I was saying the other day, there's a certain type of personality that just cannot interface with reality. You know, a frightening reality. They can't interface with it because they're just not emotionally like adept at, you know, that thing. Like, so whatever, something is going on inside, and I cannot take this information inside or on board. So I'm going to do all kinds of mental gymnastics and pretzel logic and all kinds of, you know, and bring up graphs and charts, and, you know, my truth, and this is what really is going on. Somebody else over here agrees with me. I'm going to bring up all this stuff, you know, to build this wall against reality, because it's just too hard to take on, you know, and that's unfortunate. Realize says Rockfin locked me out when I tried to watch Project X. Really? Is that the Whitney Webb thing? Weird. I don't know. What's up with that? I tried to watch, guys, I tried to watch the Convo Couch the other day, watch a video, and I got a warning from YouTube saying has potentially hazardous information. Do you want to continue? I was like, what is this? What is this? But, you know, Rockfin doesn't censor people. So, I don't know. That might be something else that's going on. I'm not really sure. Oh, it was premium on Rockfin. There you go. Wow, Mashy. Yeah, you have to subscribe. Pay the subscription fee to watch some videos on Rockfin. And, you know, if you like that content, it's probably worth it. For the Biosphere says, I'm here to say that Maine has pretty much no snow left of the last snow over a week ago. I know, yeah. It's supposed to be white everywhere right now except the snow-plowed streets, but it's the color of dormant grass. Well, there we go. On the ground reporting from For the Biosphere. Thank you. YouTube blocked all the Project X talk last night. Wow. Whoa. Whoa. I'm going to have to go. Dang. Okay. Because I haven't actually had a chance to watch any of that yet. So I'm going to have to go get into that quickly before I can't. Accidental activists. Yeah, me too. I did a show with Pasta last night and told him about the warning. Yes, it's crazy. Yes, I know. I was like, whoa. It's totally brand new. as Whitney Webb, as so many other people have said, they are ramping up the censorship thing. And so Whitney Webb was like, get whatever, take pertinent information that you want and need off the internet right now, or like put it, you know what I mean? Like download it and get it because it might not be accessible very soon. And be ready for the censorship thing to really, really ramp up. And that's why I'm urging everyone to go to Rockfin. That's why I'm telling you that. Go get on Rockfin. I know if you're feel weird about it, just do it. Just do it. Get over it. I'm sorry. Sorry to tell you that. Just gonna have to like suck it up because again, I don't know. We don't know where this is going. Oh no, Poppy Davis. I think it's $10 a month. You said the subscription fee is $10 one time, or is it? I'm not sure. I thought it was $10 a month. I'm not sure. You know what though? I'll go. I heard it was $10 a month. I'll go suss it out, and I will bring you guys the real information. Hold on one second. I can do that right now. Mm-hmm. It's $10 a month, which is what I thought it was. But I was just checking to make sure that I wasn't wrong. Yeah, hazardous information. Convo couch. Basil Peterson, I had several video not availables. Oh, yeah. Anyways, let's move on because it's Sunday. Doing a bit of talking today, guys, and that's okay. That's fine. Ben C says emergency action with economic system change in order to stop greenhouse gas emissions, deforestation, habitat destruction, soil depletion, overkilling, chemical, plastic, light, and noise pollution. Must happen by the first quarter of the 21st century for decent survival. That means 4 years. That means in 4 years. Well, guess what? With all the tech companies ramping up their censorship and having having what is to them good reason to do so, and what so many people are like, yeah, this is great. So many people are cheering that on. It's going to be harder and harder to organize people around this problem, this situation, because we're not going to be able to do it. Actually, there's a good interview with Whitney Webb on Graham Elwood too. I urge you all to go watch that. She is predicting some pretty scary stuff. So I really urge you to familiarize yourself with the things that she's predicting because it's based on investigation. It's based on real stuff. She's not making it up, and all of the things that she has predicted over the last few months have actually come true. And so that's really frightening. Lastly, on the climate change front, this is from Richard Barrow in Thailand. I've never seen the air quality so bad. For sure, this is a greater threat to your health than COVID-19 at the moment. Where I live in Samut Prakan, the air quality is classed as hazardous. I don't even dare open the door to go outside. This is in Bangkok. 345 AQI. And this isn't from wildfires, right? This is just air pollution. This is all over the city, I guess. AQI. Yikes. That is horrid. That's just smog. We are literally gassing people. Gassing people with smog. Wondrous. Um, 989 Big Boss asks, we're still screwed? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, here's an interesting. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Osla Fave. Thank you so much. Says support our sisters and brothers. Rockfin now. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Osla Fave. I appreciate you. Schulte 100 says yeah, we're fucked. Have a happy day of peace. Okay. John D says Bangkok is crazy. They have an elevated premium highway that is virtually empty while the roads beneath are clogged. Sounds like a few places in the States as well. Boulder Up Lamppost. Project X vid is muted on Elwood's channel. Whoa. Dang it. I was just about to watch that. Dang it. Well. Andy the Gardener, what was wrong with 9/11? It was awesome. Yeah, here's a trippy story. I'm just going to cover a few things before I go, guys. Twitter loses $5 billion in market value after Trump is permanently barred from the platform. Interesting. So there's a lot of interesting angles to this. One is that, let's say banning Trump is, good for the people, right? Banning Trump is the right thing to do because people are being radicalized and being called to violence, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It is interesting that a corporation would ever do the right thing and lose that much money, right? When does a corporation do the right thing and just to take a $5 billion hit? It's just kind of not really in their playbook. So unless they're being propped up by other means, which I actually am sure they are, if they're doing this at the behest of the deep state or whatever, then, or behest of the new censorship regime that is on its way, then yeah, you're going to take that $5 billion hit because it's more policy than Dudley Do-Right action, right? But yeah, it's just interesting. But it's seen from another angle. This censorship, if they really are concerned about the profits of the bottom line, censorship is actually going to be bad for business, right? It's going to be bad for you when YouTube starts deplatforming people and taking videos down and kicking people off the channel, and people can't find the videos and the creators that they want to watch anymore. Then they're going to lose a lot of money. And then what? When you kind of destroy your business model in order to try and, I don't know, shut people down or censor people, it doesn't really make any sense. But anyways, that's just my 2 thoughts on that. There's probably more to say about that. Again, I wanted to just bring this up. I already said something about it yesterday, but very interesting that the outgoing U.S. Capitol Police chief says he asked for help, backup help at the Capitol melee, whatever you want to call it, several times. He said 6 times, and they said, nah. But they said that they didn't ask the other people involved, the officials, higher ups, said that they asked if they needed help, and he said no. So who is lying? Who's lying? Looks like this guy was a patsy. It looks like this guy was a patsy. Another very interesting thing I wanted to bring to you. Last thing I wanted to talk about, just putting it out there, something to think about. So this has been covered by a few channels already, and I went to go check out the source. It seems like the source of this article is Swiss Policy Research, even though this has been kind of deemed an anti-establishment, anti-NATO outlet anyway. So whatever. This is anyways, I'm going to read this story because it's super interesting. And kind of dings the bell on every single point. It dings every single bell. So that's why I'm going to read it. Again, though, I'm trying to figure out the real source of this, because they say, so the title is QAnon may have been a FBI psyop. And they say a recent Reuters investigation may indicate that QAnon was in fact an FBI cyber psyop. So I don't know if I just had a really hard time finding the link between the Reuters investigation and this article. If anybody else can actually, they link to quite a few sources in here, which is good. All the sources are solid. I'm just trying to, I'm actually trying to verify this part of the thing. So if anybody could, I'll try and do that on my own if anybody else can help me with that. But let's read this. The QAnon phenomenon has generally been regarded as a hoax or prank, originated by online message board users in late October 2017 that got out of control. The QAnon persona was preceded by similar personae, including FBI Anon, CIA Anon, and the White House insider Anon. Right. So if you don't know anything about QAnon, Q was supposed to have clearance, Q clearance. QAnon originally called himself Q Clearance Patriot. Former CIA counterintelligence operative Kevin M. Shipp explained that an actual Q clearance leaker, i.e., someone possessing the highest security clearance at the U.S. Department of Energy, required to access top secret nuclear weapons information, would have been identified and removed within days. So if he actually did have Q clearance and was leaking, he would have been brought up on charges pretty quickly. However, in November 2020, Reuters reported that the very first social media accounts to promote the QAnon persona were allegedly linked to Russia. That's true. And if you want to go one step further, the Russian disinformation stories that are leaked to the press are, you can pretty much assume that those are planted by the CIA. And even backed by the Russian government. For instance, the very first Twitter account to ever use the term QAnon on social media had previously retweeted obscure Russian officials, according to Reuters. Okay, obscure Russian officials. Obscure meaning anonymous, any old buddy, people saying, hello, I am Russian. These alleged Russian social media accounts posing as accounts of American patriots were in contact with politically conservative U.S. YouTubers and drew their attention to the QAnon persona. This is how, in early November 2017, the QAnon movement took off. But given the recent revelations by British investigator David J. Blake, who for the first time was able to conclusively show, at the technical level, that the Russian hacking operation was a cyber psyop run by the FBI and FBI cybersecurity contractor, who? CrowdStrike. The Reuters report may, in fact, in CrowdStrike, being the people that investigated this, the alleged Clinton server, and said, yeah, this was hacked by Russians, right? That was their claim, but it was found to be bullshit later. The Reuters report may, in fact, indicate that QAnon was neither a hoax nor Russian, but rather FBI psychological cyber operation. Of note, U.S. cyber intelligence firm New Knowledge, there's another hinky organization, New Knowledge. They're responsible for putting out a lot of disinformation out into the news ecosystem. Founded this U.S. cyber intelligence firm, New Knowledge, founded by former NSA and DARPA employees. That's not weird at all. And tasked by the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee in 2018 with investigating alleged Russian social media operations relating to the 2016 U.S. presidential election, was itself caught faking a Russian social media botnet in order to influence the 2017 Alabama Senate race. So this is true. Did y'all know this? Did y'all know that this organization actually used bots to influence this race in Alabama? Senate report on Russian interference was written by disinformation warriors behind Alabama false flag operation. This is from the Gray Zone, and we know the Gray Zone does the good work. High-tech Russiagate hustlers Jonathan Morgan and Ryan Fox have been exposed for waging an elaborate false flag operation to swing the 2017 Alabama Senate race. But, this time around, our elections were totally on the up and up, right? I mean, we just know this for a fact. And any claims of election interference are totally false and inciting violence. If the QAnon persona similar to Guccifer 2.0, the Guccifer 2.0 Russian hacker persona played by an FBI cyber security contractor, let's check this out. Several aspects of the Russian hacking psychological operation had already been uncovered by independent researchers like Stephen McIntyre, Adam Carter, and the Forensicator. In early November, however, British researcher David J. Blake essentially solved the Russian hacking psyop down to the operational level as described in his new book, Loaded for Guccifer, or Guccifer 2.0. The Russian hacking psyop was initiated by the U.S. and NATO in 2014 in response to Russia's reaction to the U.S. regime change in Ukraine, when Russia retook control of the Crimean Peninsula and supported the de facto secession of Russian-speaking eastern Ukraine. All right. It's more deep information I don't have time to go into, but anyways, please Google this, look this up, and read this for yourself. So let's go on. If the QAnon persona, similar to the Guccifer 2.0 Russian hacker, was indeed an FBI psychological operation, its goal may have been to take control of, discredit, and ultimately derail the supporter base of U.S. President Trump. In this case, the QAnon movement may have been a modern version of the original FBI COINTELPRO program. And here's a note. Contrary to some media claims, the person or people behind the QAnon persona have never been identified. Some media speculated that James Watkins, the owner of 8chan and 8kun message board, on which Q was posting his messages, might be Q or might be linked to Q, but Watkins denied this. In September 2020, the owner of QMap, A website aggregating Q messages was identified as a Citigroup employee, but again, no actual link to Q was established. All right. I'm going to go one further and say that I still believe that Donald Trump himself is a psyop. If Q was a psyop and Donald Trump knew that Q was happening, then that means Donald Trump was the psyop. Q and it was working with Donald Trump as it was a complete psyop. Anyways, 16 watching on Rockfin. Yes, thank you guys. We're very close to 20. Maybe we won't get there today, but we'll try again tomorrow. Scott Andrews, market value doesn't have anything to do with profits or losses. Market value is the stock value. Sure. But if you own stocks, and a lot of the owners of these companies own their own stocks, or buy back their own stocks, or have wealth in their wealth is tied up in these stocks, then they lost a lot of money. They lost a lot of market value. Their stocks lost a lot of value. Yeah, Scott. Poppy Davis says, Scott, I'm thinking market value matters a lot. It kind of does. If your wealth is tied up in the value of the stocks that you own, then you just lost a lot of money. Get out of here. Jimmy Dore's gone off YouTube. Well, I haven't seen any posts from him in the last few days. Oh, yes. I'm a psyop. Yes. No, I'm not. Listen, I haven't seen Jimmy Dore post anything in a couple of days. I also have not seen Jamal Thomas. His last video was 4 days ago, guys. Let me see if I can see something here. I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm being super paranoid, but oh, here, wait, Jimmy Dore just posted something. So he's not gone. He's not gone. Hold on. Yeah, no, he's on YouTube. He just posted something, but I'm going to say Jamal Thomas, and I don't know what's going on. I know that Jamal has health issues, but I haven't seen him post anything in 4 days, and I also haven't seen his show, Fault Line, still going? Because it was 2 days before that I haven't seen a Fault Lines in like 6 days. Osama says, war is peace. Realize says what? Anyways, guys. Rich China says the virus is a direct risk to capitalism. It's profitable to deny its existence. I don't know. It's been pretty good for Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, the virus. It's been really good for them. Close down all the mom and pops and let all the corporations continue to operate. Yes, Fault Lines used to have Garland Nixon, right? Michael Lee. Yeah, but I haven't seen a Fault Line show since Wednesday. Is it? Why didn't I see them post though? I don't see. His last post was 4 days ago. Oh no, maybe it was 4 days ago. His last Fault Lines was 4 days ago. It's Sunday. But maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm oh, I see. Okay, maybe that's it. I kind of assumed it was like he was dealing with something else. I see. Okay. Well, that's good. Good to know because that's one of my favorite shows. I was feeling like, I know for the Biosphere, I know. Well, it's a little weird. You know, all of this stuff is creating weird divisions, even on the left, even on the progressive side. The force the vote and the Capitol, the stuff that happened at the Capitol is like kind of divided people on very distinct lines about who, you know. Do we believe do we believe the establishment narrative or not? Do we protect the establishment or not? You said you unsubscribed from Jamarl because he keeps protecting the establishment for some reason. That can only be bad. I think though that Jamarl just doesn't really like Trump. Jamarl just doesn't really like Trump. And so if you really don't like Trump, it's easier to believe that like he's just really bad. All his followers are bad. All of this was an insurrection. You know, it's just all a bunch of dumb, you know, right wing, white power fascists. Like it's just easy to get caught up in that narrative because it's easy. It's just easier to think that than it is to like look at what's going on underneath all of that. Okay. Ah. Anyways, guys, thanks so much. Appreciate you joining me every day on this chat. I will be back tomorrow at the regular time. Urban Hermit says today is the 17th. Didn't Lord Hugh predict the march on DC or something? He predicted something happening on the 17th. You're right. You're right. I don't know. The day's not over. The day's not over. 17 watching on Rockfin. Oh, between now and the 20th. But guys, you know, who knows what's going to happen. I mean, we have like a couple days till the inauguration, and I wouldn't be surprised if something weird popped off. I just wouldn't be surprised. Osama says TDS equals Trump deserves sympathy. No, I'm not saying that Trump deserves sympathy. I'm just saying the narrative is useful to those that want to actually truly be the fascists, right? You understand where I'm coming from? Anyways, guys, that's it. I've ran out of time. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you back here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until next time, peace.